pleasant good evening. You are listening to the program The Voice of Pilgrim, emanating from Pilgrim Baptist Temple, St. James Road, where our senior pastor is Reverend Dr. Leroy Nathaniel Major. We are known as the Church with the Open Doors, hence our hearts are also open to you. For more information on this radio broadcast, you may contact our church at 393-3644. Sponsors for this broadcast are Telecom Bahamas Limited at 376-8999, Easy Trucking at 357-4394, The Craft Shack at 829-7412, ATC Financial Advisors and Consultants at 376-0411, and also the fine members of the Pilgrim Baptist Temple.
Good evening and welcome to the Voice of Pilgrim. I'm your host, Minister Karen Curtis. Tonight, our topic is backyard farming, and our scripture text is Isaiah 30:23, which reads, "And he will also send you rain for the seed you sow in the ground, and the food that comes from the land will be rich and plentiful, and the day your cattle will graze in the broad meadows." COVID-19 has impacted persons in the Bahamas and throughout the world. Families are finding it challenging to put food on the table for a number of reasons, including lack of money due to job losses. More and more families have started growing their own food in the small backyard farms. Tonight, our guest is Mr. Errington Thompson. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
It's good to have you, man.
Glad to be here.
Mr. Thompson is the chairman of the board and president of the Agriculture Alliance of the Caribbean and the founding member and the president of the Bahamas Agri-Business Co-operative Society Limited, who will be with us discussing backyard farming. Mr. Thompson, before we start, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I have been involved with farming or growing from I was a boy.
Okay.
I do not have a background in agriculture, agriculture as a science or having studied it, but I know what I know having done things by rote.
Okay.
So I grow a lot of stuff in my yard.
Okay.
In fact, I have now transformed my lawn into a garden.
Oh,
So
wow.
in the front of my yard, you will not see any lawn. You will see
Wow.
my sweet potatoes, my peppers,
Wow.
those kind of things.
Wow.
So I've been involved with a lot of things over the years, and I just love to plant. I just love to grow.
Okay, that's good. That's good stuff. Can you tell us a little bit about BABCO?
BABCO is a multi-purpose cooperative.
Okay.
The full name is Bahamas Agri-Business Cooperative Society Limited, and we were registered by the Department of Cooperative Development back in March 2012. BABCO is governed by the Cooperative Societies Act of 2005 and its bylaws, which are in compliance with the Act. Our vision is to create sustainable business opportunities for members through the pooling of financial and human resources in accordance with cooperative principles.
Okay.
While our guiding vision is to grow our way into a food secure Bahamas. Our mission is simply to bring people together to do good, to help themselves.
Okay. All right.
As the cooperative movement says, people helping people to help themselves.
Right. Yeah, that's good. That's good. For a person, let's say for a person who knows nothing about farming and wants to start farming or gardening, where do we start, and how much space do you think that we should need?
Well, I always say just begin. For example, if you have seeds that you want to plant, you start with simple things to plant. For example, pigeon peas, okra, pumpkin. Those things are very easy to plant because they don't need a lot of maintenance. And especially when the summer comes, you don't have to be so concerned about watering them. But once they're down and begin to thrive, you're going to get a lot from them.
Okay.
Now, a lot of people like to grow vegetables, but vegetables are not so easy to thrive on their own. You have to care for them.
Okay.
You have to care for them. But there are lots of things that you could plant that doesn't call for a lot of space or a lot of time.
Okay.
So you begin there.
Okay.
And the amount of space you need, whatever space you have. When I look at my homestead where I grew up, I wondered how I had goats and rabbits, pigeons, and chickens, and I grew all those things that I like to grow in the backyard.
Wow.
How did I do it? The yard is probably as big as this, well, the backyard is probably as big as this room, and I did it because I wanted to do it, and that's the desire that we must have.
So you did it as a young boy growing up?
As a young boy.
Wow.
As a young boy.
Wow. So it just tells me that you don't have to be too old or too young to start.
Or you can start at any age. You can continue on into, as long as you can stand up and work hard, you can do it. So there is no excuse for us not getting involved with growing something.
I like you said that because I was about to say right now, what about someone like me who said that I don't have the hands to do it or the knowledge of farming to what start a garden or farming?
Well, I'm going to make a lot of reference to the internet because that's where I get a lot of information.
Okay.
The internet has a lot of good and it might have some bad as well, right?
Yeah.
But the good thing is, if you want to learn about something, you can go on the internet and find out. So I encourage everybody, just simply look it up or ask somebody who can look it up. So you might say, well, I'm not familiar with, jumping around the web. But you know a young person
Who knows
can.
that, yes.
And just say, go and look this up for me, print it off, and you have something to begin with.
Wow.
There's just no excuse nowadays.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
I used to have to go to the library to learn and read books. Today, I can do that right
Just
at
go
home.
on Google. Just
Do that
go
at
on
home.
Google.
Yeah.
And it's so amazing that right now, like you said, the internet can be used for good and for evil.
Yes.
And most of us, we tend to use it for evil. But like you said, if you want to know more about farming or how to grow crops, just go on Google.
Yes.
Google is right there. It's not too far away. Just know what you're searching for
Yes.
and how to search for it.
Yes.
I like that. Do I need any specific equipments to work with when you're farming?
You need depending on what you want to do, you need a little hand shovel,
Okay.
some gloves if your hands are soft. You might need a grub hoe or wheelbarrow. Those kind of things, you might need them in time, but initially you don't need any special equipment.
All right, now what is the first? Let's say now I got my equipments now, and I got the space and I ready to go ahead. What's the first thing I must do after all that now?
Well, it is always good if you could find somebody who understands farming to help you, because you have to have sunlight. You need to know how the sun is going to affect what you grow. Because without sunlight, you don't get photosynthesis. So you need your sunlight. So you can't grow in the shade.
No.
So once you know basically where you want to put things, you're ready.
Wow. I laugh because growing up in our backyard, my mom she started gardening. She started doing stuff, and we have a shed, and she would plant some seeds behind the shed, and she would get me saying that, why am I planting? Why I'm not producing? Why they ain't growing? Why they ain't, and stuff like that. And my dad, who's an island boy, he told us that because you are blocking the sun to get into it. You need the sun, so he had to plant it somewhere else. Then she starts seeing it produce.
Yes.
So it really shows that we really need sunlight.
Yes, you do.
So, all right, so I like that. Once I start, how long should I take before I get results?
Well, it depends on what you're planting.
Okay.
Some things you can see in 90 days.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Yeah, there's some things that you could plant, and in 90 days you can see, you can harvest. I do. Right now I'm doing peppers, finger peppers, and I'm just transplanting them from the small seedlings into a smaller pot, a pint-sized pot. And the ones that I put into the ground in my front yard, they're beginning to show sign that they're going to be putting out peppers soon. And I was just thinking, I said, boy, do I need the pollinators to come, or I'm going to be okay? Because since the shepherd needles began to dry down, the bees haven't been as active in my neighborhood. But all I'm saying is that you can have all of these peppers planted at a certain time. I planted all those seeds at the same time.
Yeah.
But they are progressing differently and in different medium. So the ones in the pot are looking good, but the ones I put in the ground are already looking to produce peppers.
That's good. So you're telling me that all it takes is patience, just to wait on it to grow.
Just patience, but this becomes a labor of love, because you then begin to see results, and you see things happening that are beneficial, and then you begin to like it.
Yeah.
It's like people who first get chickens.
Okay.
They are quiet, they don't say anything, but the chickens are talking. And then one day you begin to talk to those chickens, and you realize that, hey, this is fun talking to my chickens, although they don't answer, but you begin to have a conversation with your chickens. It becomes a labor of love. And that's what this is all about. And I recommend that everybody, every person in the Bahamas, begin to plant something. Plant something.
Okay, so all right. I hear you, but with me, couple months ago, my mother-in-law, I can't remember which one, gave me a plant bag. Two. My mother-in-law gave me some seed. She said that plant it in your yard and make sure that it grow. I did that, and after about 3 days or so, I got tired of watering it. I got tired of caring with it. So I said, okay, get out. I said, no, well, I started going on the rains. I said, Lord, let it rain, so I ain't gonna go there and check on it. And that's where we started having this stuff. Started getting hot and the rain started coming less. Now on the flip side, my mother, she started growing plants or seed in the pot, and she gave it to me. And she said, keep on watering it. When they get to a certain size sprout, then transplant it into the ground from there. So I did that, and she gave it to me. I had it about for 3 months, and I died about 2 months. Then after that, it began to die. And I was like, why this plant die? It was so vibrant. My mother gave it to me. Why? Then did I realize because I was not tending to it or caring to it like I should. So I believe in this same thing that we did, that we're talking about farming. We must have a passion for it and really be committed as we do it.
Yeah, and the other side of it is you have to care for and nurture things that are important. Plants need water. They need the sunshine. Okay. They need something to boost them. It could be compost, it could be micronutrients, fertilizer, but they need some things, and you have to care for them. And that's why I say, if you begin to see results, you begin to say, well, hey, I can do this. But you cannot neglect.
No.
It's just like a parent neglecting their children, and you can't do that.
No.
So you take on that responsibility to look after that plant. You have to water it, or you could put in place some kind of irrigation system which will automatically water it for you.
Okay.
And that's something you can look up on the internet as well.
Yes, but the actual about that, how does can you give me a little quick synopsis of how that works?
Well, let's say a simple irrigation system is to take a 5-gallon bucket, put the water in it, and you run a line from that bucket, and gravity feed will send the water to where you want it to go, and that will continue to drip, and water your plant until that bucket is empty.
Wow. Okay.
So that's a simple way to utilize an irrigation, a kind of makeshift irrigation system.
Okay, that's good. Let's say now, do I need plant food or fertilizer to start with?
You're gonna have to give your plants some kind of nourishment. I like compost because it's a something I know, something I have prepared, something I have I know what's in it, and it's like I always say, we don't know what's in our food, and I know what's in my compost. So the things I put in there to break down and to give me micronutrients to feed my plants, I feel comfortable with that. Some people use different things like neem cake, and some people use fertilizers and the rest of it, but the plant needs something to keep it alive, need nutrients. Like you need nutrients to keep you alive. The plants need nutrients, they need water like you need water. And that's what we do for our plants.
What do you put in your compost?
Compost is made from dry and they call it brown and green material. So anything that is like dried leaves, green leaves, wood shavings, anything that's natural, you put in there. You don't put food scraps. You don't put things that you don't know. For example, if somebody is cutting their lawn and the lawnmower is leaking, you do not want that stuff to go in your compost. So you need to know what are you putting in there, and you break it down as small as you can, and it reproduces quickly. But there's a special way to compost things, and I don't know if we have time to get into that. So it's easy to look it up, get a tumbler, and put your stuff in there, and now you're making soil. You're making soil. You're making nutritious soil.
Wow. Well, you got to go farming right now. I'm going to go deal with my garden right now. So I heard you talking earlier about your pots and the ground. What do you recommend when you directly do? Is it better to plant from the pot or directly from the ground?
Well, it's always better in the ground. But I have things in pots because sometimes people desire some of my stuff. They either want it for free or they want to buy it. So if I have a whole lot of finger peppers in a pot, then I don't have the space to plant all of them. So I'm either going to give them away or I'm going to sell them. And the whole the mantra for backyard gardening is you eat what you grow, you give away, you barter if you can, or you sell.
Yeah. Wow. And even right now, how we are dealing with this pandemic right now, farming on your backyard is really good right now, because it really helps you. Instead of spending money that you don't have, you can just go and pick from your trees, and you have stuff you can use to cook with.
Well, it's even more than that. If you can grow the things that you like, for example, I grow onions.
Okay, you do.
I like onions.
I love it too.
And I can grow enough onions to keep me for a long time, because onions can last if they're dried properly. But the thing is, I don't have to go and buy those onions. And if you can grow things that you like, and I have fruit trees, so you got fruits, you got some vegetables, you got some other legumes, some other staples in your yard, some sweet potato and cassava, the rest of it. You grow those things, and if you like them, you don't have to buy them.
No.
But look what it does. It keeps your grocery bill down.
Yep.
But in addition to that, as a country, we are importing some almost $1 billion worth of foodstuffs into our country. So every time we have to we make the money from the tourism, and we get the US dollars, we put it in the central bank, and then when we want to buy food, we go and we draw that US out, and we pay that for food that we might be able to grow.
Yeah.
So it will not only help our balance of payments, our foreign reserves, but it'll also mean that when you grow stuff and you eat it, you know what happened.
Yes,
you know what's in that.
yeah.
So healthy, nutritious food, fresh, healthy, nutritious food is the way to go, because if everybody is growing something, you might grow something that I don't grow,
Yeah.
and we can barter.
Yeah.
We can exchange. You know, when I was growing up, we'd go down the street to borrow an onion from the neighbor. People don't do that now, but you can you can organize yourself so that everybody, let's say in this church, everybody could be growing something,
Okay.
and whatever excess they have,
Yes,
they bring it and they say, well,
Yes.
okay, I can't really give it away, but let's barter.
Okay.
And that's how you begin to develop this notion of feeding ourselves, starting with the backyard garden.
It even gives you some sense of pride too, to know, saying that hey, I'm eating something that I my hands had deals with, that I grew in my backyard. It makes you feel happy.
Yes.
What do you say? What kind of word of encouragement can you give to somebody now? They start their farming, their backyard farming. They were doing well, but somewhere they got tired or they got discouraged, and now it is out of whack.
Well, you always have to understand where you are, and you might have to regroup.
Okay.
There are people who started to go to COB and they didn't finish, and now the universities come around and they might say, well, boy, let me try again. So what you do is you regroup and you say, I didn't do the garden the way I should have done in the past, but I want to try it again. Where can I get help? Where can I get information? Who can I see? And there's a Ministry of Agriculture, people dying to give you support. So you call the ministry and you say, I want to do this. How can I get started? I saw the gentleman who's giving out the backyard gardening kit today.
Okay.
And he told me, I'm still giving out these kits.
Wow.
So even that you can get at a very inexpensive price, and you can start your garden again. So if you feel like you've fallen down and you didn't do well in the past, pick it up again, and let's do it. I used to be an athlete, and a lot of times I didn't want to do it, but I just decided I'm going to do it again.
Yeah, I must pause to say, well, thank you, Stuart, because our church too have a little farm, a garden that we were growing, and you were part of it to help us get it together. Now we stumble along the way, but so we're getting back there to bring it back, because right now, this time we're living in, it's good to farm your own food. It's good to have something that you can just go and pick for yourself.
I was a part of a team that included Ian Hutchison, who is now an enormous and very proactive beekeeper, and Jetta Roll. And Ian did most of the work there. But as a team, we developed that community garden for you. And I'd like to see it come back.
Yes, it will.
And I'd like to see you all do some things there. You just need some people who say, I'm prepared to do some work, and we're going to be committed to getting it up and running, because when you do the community garden, you encourage them to do something in their backyard as well.
Yes. Because I remember when it first got started, they were excited in the church to see that garden and say, wow, my church actually doing this. If it needs something, just come in, get it, and go from there. So, but it is on our mandate to make sure, get that back up and running. What do you say to somebody, if somebody asks you, saying that there's a lot of bees and insects around my garden, is that something I should get rid of? Or
There are good insects and bad insects.
Okay.
Bees are very good insects. You want them. They are pollinators of the highest order.
Okay.
Snails, not good.
Oh, okay.
Caterpillar, not good. And caterpillars and snails, they come out in the night.
Yes.
And you're sleeping and they are eating,
Yes.
I'm going to use the word ferociously. And they eat up your stuff. And you come and you say, how did that get all those holes in it?
Wow.
Because these night stalkers will go and do that. And so you have to find ways to get rid of them. One of the things that you do with your snails is you could put down a little thing, a bear. And they will go, and they love bear. They will go and die in them. They'll jump in that and die.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Snails love bear.
Wow. Wow, I never knew that. Now that I know. How did I know? Yes. We know that Ministry of Education was giving us some starter kits to start your backyard farming. How do we go about it getting some of the starter kits?
Just call the ministry and say, we're interested in getting some starter kits. In the case of the church, they might even do something special for you. For individuals, they charge $10 for the kit. So I would say, get started, call them up, and see how you can get people involved and excited again.
Okay. All right, sir. I know that you talked about this a little earlier, about planting different crops and different vegetables and stuff. What do you think is the longest plant to grow or to produce?
I really don't know.
Okay.
But I do know that you start with something you like, because that's what you're going to take care of. I like pigeon peas and okra, and so I plant them. I like to grow peppers because plenty of people like them. Citrus don't do too well in the Bahamas, but we need to bring our citrus back.
Okay.
Nobody has ever declared whether we're canker-free,
No.
but it'll be good to know that we are. So whatever you want to grow, there are opportunities for you to find out how they grow, what is the best time to grow them. You got to know the zone we're in. We're in zone 11.
Okay.
And it's not difficult at all.
All right. Can you tell us, like, when you're farming, how much time do you spend per day or per week on your garden?
No, it's unfair to ask me that because I spend a lot of time.
Okay.
I spend a lot of time in my garden. Sometimes I just walk through, looking at the progress, looking for new leaves coming out.
Okay.
Because I have soursop and sugar apple
Okay. Wow.
and sapodilly and sea grapes and cocoa plum and breadfruit.
Wow.
And so I go through and I look, in addition to the peppers and the stuff like that. So I go through and I just look at stuff and I see what they need, that kind of stuff. But if you're just starting, you might just have 1 or 2 plants. You might have 5 or 6 plants. It doesn't take you very long.
No. So it really shows that it just takes about commitment and care, the passion. And I believe that we're lacking is that passion, because sometimes we have the zeal to start it, but then somewhere we will stop, we won't continue.
No, I think what happened was, because we're able to buy, we have money to buy.
Yes, it's easy.
We simply say, well, let's go buy it. Sometimes you ask children, well, where does the grits come from? They will say the food store.
Yes.
You know, because we haven't taught them about the advantage of being creative and doing things ourselves, for ourselves. We become a fast food eating society, whereas we should be eating more healthy. We suffer from the highest level of non-communicable diseases, high blood pressure and diabetes and the rest of it, because we don't eat healthy. But on the family islands, where people are eating from the soil, they're healthy. But in Nassau, we just go buy the greasiest and it's not healthy for us. So I'm saying, let's get to a place where we can change our lifestyle.
Yes, sir.
And let's do better.
Yes, sir.
Let's eat better.
Yes, sir.
Let's have more nutritious, fresh foods on our tables. And Bahamas would be a place that is worth coming to, living in, and other people will envy us for all the good that we have.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you, sir. I really do appreciate that, your words of wisdom. But as we wrap up, is there any final words you'd like to tell our audience?
I just want to say that wherever there is a problem, agriculture is the answer.
I like that, sir. I like that. You hear it, guys. We said wherever there's a problem, agriculture is the answer. Well, Mr. Thompson, again, thank you so much. We do appreciate your time and your knowledge. We do appreciate you for being here. Thank you again.
Thank you.
And that's our show for this evening. Please join us on next week, Monday, where our topic will be the importance of time. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. If you've joined us late tonight, or know of anyone who have missed the show or want to watch it again, you can join us at our program, The Voice of Pilgrim, Nassau, Bahamas, on Facebook or on YouTube at The Voice of Pilgrim Baptist Temple. You can even contact us, email at thevoiceofpilgrim@gmail.com. Join us next week, same time, same channel. God bless.
Thank you for listening to the program The Voice of Pilgrim, which was brought to you by Jonah Telecom Bahamas Limited, 376-8999. They install and maintain telecommunication towers from Bimini and Grand Bahama in the north to Inagua in the south to ensure clear, continuous cellular service throughout the Bahamas. Easy Trucking at 357-4394. They specialize in flatbed and container deliveries and 20 to 40 foot chassis rentals. They make trucking easy with over 24 years of experience in the heavy hauling business. The Craft Shack, Wolf Road, opposite the Windsor Park, 829-7412, specializing in JUNKANOO and CARNIVAL supplies, balloons and party supplies, hats, fascinators, and jewelry making items. They supply the items, tools, and decorations for all your craft needs. ATC Financial Advisors and Consultants, with over 19 years experience in accounting and auditing, they offer reliable and professional service in internal audit, enterprise risk management, corporate governance, financial planning, and accounting. For more information, call them at 376-0411 or visit their website at www.atcadvisors.com. And also, the fine members of the Pilgrim Baptist Temple, tune in next week, same time, same station, where we will be happy to bring you another interesting broadcast of The Voice of Pilgrim. God bless you and have a wonderful evening.